Tiffany Hopkins with Oregon State's Forestry and Natural Resources Extension Program, and today we are going to be making a wreath out of greenery from your woodlands. So the materials that you're going to need are a wreath wire. I have this one that's in 12 inches, this one that's 18 inches. We're going to use this one today. This is a little bit more of a standard size, but they do come in smaller sizes. And then some floral wire to wrap your greenery, some clippers, and then also for at the very end, some wire cutters. So some things to keep in mind, and then your greenery obviously, and some things to keep in mind when you're harvesting your greenery is just to do so sustainably. What I like to think about is just taking from trees that I'm going to be planning on removing anyways. So we have a couple of more unhealthy Doug firs. That's where I got all of my Doug fir from, which is the bulk of what I'll be using today. Same with a couple of our cedars. And then also you're just going to be taking a small amount to make a wreath or two, so it shouldn't be a big concern. If you're wanting to harvest at larger levels, I'm going to leave a link to a resource below, and then also just some guidelines that you can follow, just because most of the people watching this, that probably won't be the case. So if that is you, then you can utilize those resources. I wanted to start by saying I've got all kinds of stuff here, and I think what's fun is just to go outside and get what you can, and try to see beauty in some things maybe you wouldn't usually. So I have some hemlock, like I said, some cedar, lots and lots and lots of Doug fir. I have some Oregon grape. I also have some holly that pretty much looks very similar to this. Unfortunately, my holly doesn't have berries on it. And then some kind of different things I thought might be cool to incorporate. Some really lichenny covered twigs. Some Scotch broom that I thought might be kind of fun to incorporate. If I can get that over here. And then something that I wanted to mention, I know a lot of you that will be joining our wreath workshop or that are watching this video might not own woodlands, but I think that you can go out and just I grabbed some greenery from some shrubs that I have out in my just backyard, and I think that you can get just enough. Maybe you could do like a smaller wreath. Also like the Scotch broom or some Doug fir, you might be able to ask a neighbor or get some off the side of the road, especially the Scotch broom. I grabbed some ferns, but I don't think ferns will maybe last as long. This is pretty. I did have some salal, but I don't see that. But anyways, so yeah, just go out and try to find beautiful things and different kinds of greenery to incorporate. Whatever you make is going to be beautiful. So that being said, I think the easiest way to start is to gather up whatever you're going to be using and then start trimming it down to the size that you're going to want. And that is going to depend on which size of the wreath wire that you're using. But I would say for this, more of the standard size, you want about 5 to 7 inches or so. So I have done a lot of that, but just to kind of give you an idea, this is a Doug fir, so I was kind of just using this as an example, my trimmers. So you just cut off some of those pieces and add them to your piles. So once you've gotten all of your greenery sorted into whatever different species that you have, and you have all of your piles, you're going to get started with actually making your wreath. Okay, so to start, you're just going to wrap, let's see, this way, the wreath wire around your wreath ring and kind of weave it into the wreath ring. And then just wrap it around a couple times. This is just going to be your base, so you kind of want to get it tight on there. There's no real science to this, just wrap it around. And then basically we'll just start building our little bundles. So there's also no real science to this. You just want to do whatever you think looks pretty, and you can trim them as you go. If some are like a little bit longer than others. So for your first bundle, you kind of want to get it facing outwards. So place it over where you just wrapped the wire, and you see how this is kind of like facing out. So you do that, and then you wrap your wreath wire at the base of that bundle, and you wrap it around 3 times, pulling pretty tightly. And then you make your next bundle. And what you want to do for this part is you want to cover up where you just wrapped that wire, and that was facing out. So this one you're going to kind of face in, and just kind of place the top of it at the, like I said, covering up that, and then bring the wreath wire down to the base of that bundle and wrap again 3 times. So then we'll do another bundle, and basically that's just what you're gonna keep doing, is making these little bundles of 3, 4, 5 pieces of material, and just continuing to remember to flip back and forth. So what that's going to do is just keep that opening in your wreath, and then also kind of make this like nice circle look. So we'll flip this one back that way and just overlap a bit. Wrap that wire around 3 times pretty tight. And yeah, so we'll just keep building bundles, and I'll see you back here in a couple of minutes, and I will give you some tips on how to finish your wreath. Okay, so once you feel like you are just about done, there's just a little tiny gap left, you will make a smaller little bundle. So hopefully you can see that. There's just like this kind of little gap between the last one that you did and the first one that you did. So make a bundle that's a little bit smaller than your other bundles in size. And then what you're gonna do is just kind of tuck that smaller bundle down into that first bundle. So it's still overlapping the wire that you wrapped from your last bundle, but you're tucking it under the first bundle that you made, and it's kind of awkward. So you just hold back the first bundle, bring your wire down, and do the same wrapping that you've been doing. Except for now you're going to be finishing off the wire. So what you can do is leave a little bit of an extra long tail, like maybe, I don't know, 6 inches or so, and then wrap it around, and you can make a little loop in your wire, and then just kind of flip that over and find the tail, and then just kind of, again, there's no science to this part, just start wrapping it in to itself so that you're creating this little place where you can hang your wreath from, if you want to hang it from there. And another thing to note is that if you have any like store-bought little decorations, I incorporated some pine cones into this one, but you can add in some pine cones, whatever you want or have. And then there you have it. There's a nice, beautiful, finished wreath with greenery from your property. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that you're able to get out on your property and collect some greenery and just find beauty in some of the things that we might overlook. I just think this is a great way to display part of who you are, a small woodland owner. So thanks and happy creating. Quickly, I just wanted to show you, I know I mentioned some of you don't own woodland properties who are probably watching this, so I wanted to just quick challenge myself to make this more miniature wreath that's all out of things that I just found in like my yard area, not in my woodlands. So I think this just turned out so cute, and it's still festive, and you could get, excuse me, a little thing from the craft store or something. I bet I have something right here. Yeah. So you could just add like something to make it a little bit more festive, like that little snowflake or this little gnome guy. And I just think that's so cute, and you can just gather whatever you can find around where you're at, and it's beautiful and perfect, and you created it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and happy creating.